Hello, my name's Beowulf, and I am here to answer your questions. Let's begin. I had my honour to defend, for you see, people have heard of my heroic deeds from lands far, far away. However, Unferth, a servant to the King Hrothgar, he claimed that my bravery was false and challenged me. He recounted a tale of when I lost a swimming competition to a man named Breca. Well, I did have to remind him that the only reason I lost that challenge to him was because I had to fight 9 sea monsters after 5 days in icy water. We can't all be perfect now, can we? No, I decided that if I could defeat the Grendel with my bare hands, that I could then show Unferth and all those who didn't believe in me that my bravery was to be believed in. I was also given a sword by Unferth. He gave me his sword that he said would never fail anyone who used it. Well, when I took it to fight the Grendel's mother, it failed me, and I was once again left to defeat her with my bare hands, as fate had decided. I am a man of faith. I believe that our gods watch over us, and when deserved, they will guide us and protect us. So I believe that fate would guide me in this task. If I was to die facing the Grendel, then I would die as fate had decided, and I would receive a noble warrior's death. However, I also believe that if I was destined to defeat the Grendel, then fate would also make it happen. Courage is within all of us, you just have to look inside. As you have read in my story, you know that I have been victorious against the Grendel. I managed to rip the arm from the beast and left it running out into the wilderness where it died cold and alone. I travelled from my lands to the city of Heorot to give aid to the King Hrothgar. Hrothgar would naturally have dispatched of this beast himself. However, he's an old and weary king nowadays. Also, I did owe him a favour, as he helped out my father once when they were younger. As I mentioned earlier, I owed a favour to Hrothgar. But if I could also solve this problem for them, there was a chance that they would then owe me a favour in the future as a thank you for being their saviour. And also, what hero doesn't love a great adventure? Oh, the stories we can tell afterwards, and also the riches that they might bestow on me when I come back victorious. In Anglo-Saxon times, swords were named after the person who made them, and also after the person who owned them, and they could be passed down in families from generation to generation. I was given a sword by Unferth, that servant to King Hrothgar that I mentioned, and its name is Hrunting, and it means roughly today, thrusting. So names could also be given to swords to help you find your bravery, things like Skullcrusher or Bloodbath. I bet you could come up with some interesting names yourselves. I had to be brave. As night fell, I knew that the creature would be coming shortly. Fate would either be with me or against me. A hero's job is to use their skills to survive any obstacle that they come up against. I do remember though, as the door creaked open, a single bead of sweat fell down my forehead. From that point on, I focused and readied myself to defeat the Grendel. Haha, you've jumped much further ahead in the story now. For you see, I only became the king of the Geats once the rest of the king and his family had been killed off throughout various battles in history. No, when I saw the dragon burning down my villages, I was filled with anger. We had done nothing to this creature. Well, apart from the thief who had stolen a goblet from the dragon's lair. My old heroic fighting instincts came back to me. For you see, at this point in the story, I was no longer the young man that you see before you now. 50 years had since passed, and I was much older, slower, and greyer in the hair. Nevertheless, as the king, it is my job to protect my people. I knew as we drew near to the dragon's lair that this might be a battle that I would not come out of alive, but I was determined to do the best that I could for my people. I took with me 11 of my most trusted warriors, and also the thief that stole from the dragon in the first place. As we drew near to the lair, I could smell the dragon's breath. As we came face to face with the beast, my men did indeed desert me. I was sad for an instant, but then those feelings soon departed. For once a hero, always a hero. Wiglaf did stay by my side, one of my trusted and most faithful warriors. He encouraged me and helped me in the battle. However, I was not to survive. As I dealt the dragon its death blow, it inflicted upon me a mortal wound. I was barely able to take 10 steps before I collapsed on the floor, and there, soon after, I died. It's a hard question to answer. What does go through a person's mind in their final moments? I mean, I was intensely proud of all of the things I'd achieved in my life, but I was also very proud that I'd been able to save my people from this dragon, even if it meant myself dying in the process. It is better to find bravery within than to pull away from a challenge. Always look for your inner hero and let it guide you down the righteous path so that you can be your own warrior in whatever way you need to be.